Tuesday, somewhat impacted from having had a really late disturbed Monday night, albeit fun. I'm not complaining at all. And so a slower get off. Had to go and get some provisions. I can't dine out all the time in Edinburgh. It does get a bit pricey. So a trip to a supermarket, spotting a Forbidden Planet store which rather appeals to me and my children. We also had a look around Greyfriar's Kirkyard, heading up Cowgate, then turning left. The gates to Greyfriars appeared before us. I've been to Greyfriars quite a few times, but that was the first time I entered via I think the more northerly entrance as opposed to one on the east. Greyfriars is such a stimulating graveyard. Allegedly lots of inspiration for literary characters there: Harry Potter, body snatchers like Frankenstein, Charles Dickens, Christmas Carol. Absolutely stimulating place. They have a morgue safe there. The first time I saw one of those, you're kind of thinking, my God, what are they keeping in? But it's not so much what they're keeping in as what they're keeping out. Humans, scary. Cast iron cages over graves to stop the graves being robbed way back for medical research. Then, having looked around the graveyard, we retired to the apartment for a much needed rest and watched the news and commented on how looking around a graveyard is far less depressing than watching the news. So a much needed rest, which is lovely. Our plans were rather influenced by the incoming heavy rain that was from about 5 o'clock through to midnight, 1 a.m. So it was a wet weather option, which thankfully hasn't had to be reverted to during this trip until last night. Raining a bit at the moment, but this is workable with. So we went to the cinema at the Omni Centre. Fond memories of a giraffe. I brought my children here back in February 2009. Really lovely time with them all. And one of the things that had stuck in their minds was the giraffes. So we had a look at the giraffes at the cinema. Now, as for Ghostbusters Afterlife, what a joy of a film, yeah? I know I could have gone and seen that anywhere, anytime. I'm in Edinburgh, but I'm having a nice trip with my kids, and I kind of wanted to cement the experience. The Ghostbusters is a really special film for me. It's the first film that I went to see as a child that I was really pumped up about in advance. I bought merchandise, books, graphic novel, soundtrack, really wired heavily into it, and absolutely adored the film. I'm quite intensely into it for a while, and it's remained a perennial interest since. Didn't enjoy the 2016, I think it was, Ghostbusters, but this was an absolute joy. Heavily referencing the very first Ghostbusters film, and there was a moment or two which brought tears of joy to my eyes, so that was a really worthwhile trip. We then had a soggy walk back from the Omni Centre to our accommodation just off the Royal Mile, and then just retired for the evening watching silly videos on YouTube, various animated kind of things of Freddie Mercury and memes and amusing stuff. With a bit of mead as well, which I brought up with me as a special way of cementing the experience. Okay, having dealt with the heavy footsteps behind me. So the reason for seeing Ghostbusters here in Edinburgh is I was optimistic of enjoying it, and I wanted it to be cemented in as a pleasant experience, as something really memorable, really good that I've done with my children, and tying Ghostbusters into a time here with my children. Seriously, it's been about 11-12 years since I've been able to go away with a reasonable contingent of my children and me So it's really special and good to be here. And Edinburgh, my favourite city. Earlier in the year, I asked them, like, do you want to go away somewhere? They've got work again this year, and it's obviously able to afford to bring them away. The spontaneous response was, I'd really like to go back to Edinburgh. So here we are. So today is our last full day. We're going to be going to the Camera Obscura. First thing, booked our tickets for then. Probably Carlton Hill this afternoon. And don't know what this evening. I might be filming some of these closes and wines.